Hello, everybody. My name is Bill, and welcome back to yet another episode of the NCAA Football '07 Dynasty Mode series. As you can see, McNary Central is doing well, but we are on a bye week this week, so I can be able to get to the next week quicker, possibly. In the meantime, let's take a little look at the polls now. As you can see, West Virginia is still doing well. The number one McNary Central, number two West Virginia, number three Colorado, although in the coaches they're number four. Penn State's number four, that's what the computer says, but the coaches say they should be number three. Ohio State's number five, Wisconsin number six, seventh Arkansas, eight is Texas, number nine is Northern Illinois, 10 is Auburn, 11 is Oregon, 12 is Arizona State, 13 is Florida State, 14th Oklahoma, 15th Florida, 16th Minnesota, 17th Tennessee, 18th Louisiana Tech, 19th North Carolina State, 20th USC, 21st Iowa, 22nd Missouri, 23rd Notre Dame, 24th Michigan, and 25th Boise State. Top 25s as well. Let's go back to that cover real quick. As you can see, the Michigan suffered a loss to Northwestern, which basically now eliminates them from the Big Ten championship race, which I wasn't expecting. As you can see, a lot hasn't changed in the past few weeks. We got McNary Central number one, West Virginia 2, Penn State 3, Colorado 4, Ohio State 5, Wisconsin 6, 7th is Arkansas, 8 Texas, 9 Northern Illinois, although this week with 2 first place votes. 10th is Oregon, which they move up to, granted due to the Michigan upset. I wouldn't blame them for going up. Auburn moves up 3 into number 11. Florida State just jumps 1 to number 12. Oklahoma comes up 2 to 13. Arizona State moves up 2 to 16. Minnesota fell down 4 after a loss to Wisconsin, soon to be the new 15th team in the nation. 16th is Florida, 17th is USC. They're starting to bounce back a bit, but I don't think they'll keep this bounce back for long. 18th is Tennessee, 19th is North Carolina State, 20th is Louisiana Tech, 21st is Missouri, 22nd is San Diego State after a shocking loss to Colorado State, and falling all the way down to number 23 is Michigan. Excuse me. And Iowa's down to 24, and Boise State entered the chat in 25th. With the media poll, again, a lot of the top people stay the same. McNary Central 1, West Virginia 2, Colorado 3, Penn State 4, Wisconsin 5, Ohio State 6, Texas number 7, Northern Illinois number 8, again, this time with 2 first place votes. 7th is Arkansas, 9th is Arkansas, my bad. 10th is Oregon, 11th is Auburn, now 12th is Arizona State, 13th is Florida State, 14th is Oklahoma, 15th is Florida, 16th is Minnesota, Tennessee is 17th, 18th Louisiana Tech, 19th North Carolina State, Iowa's 20th, Notre Dame is 21st, although they had a bye week that week. Missouri is 22nd, USC is 23rd, Michigan falls all the way to 24th, and Boise State, yet again, enters the chat at number 25. Now my personal bottom 10 for the week, as you can see, Ohio State avoided losing to Michigan State. 8. At number 1 we have San Jose State, 0-9 on a 16-game losing streak. Then we have at number 2 Kansas, 1-10 Their last game of the season is coming up against number 21 Missouri, and maybe they can do something there, shock everybody, but I don't know if it's going to actually happen or not. Be interesting to see. At number 3, I have Purdue. I mean, they're nearing the end of their season. As well, just got obliterated a couple weeks ago by Ohio State, so they're just looking to at least finish the year well. Drew Brees, great NFL quarterback, not a great college coach. And number 4, we have Boston College. Because how do you have 2 wins yet don't have 204 points? They got obliterated by North Carolina State. And they only have 1 conference win this year, which is not that bad considering everything, but still, At number 5, I have Washington. And we just got decimated by Oregon. And how do you have their quarterback is their leading passer and rusher? They're just 2 games away from ending their season as well. Maybe they can turn it around, possibly. At number 6, I have Louisiana Lafayette, only because they're winless in conference play. I mean, they got over 200 points. They have 2 wins of the year. It's just they hadn't picked up a conference win in the Sun Belt. Number 7, I put Idaho, even though they have 1 win. They've been kind of good. Besides last week against Louisiana Tech, as you can see, they got demolished 56-3. They've been all right, Number 8, I threw in Middle Tennessee State because, by the looks of it, they haven't done much with their conference schedule yet. Either in the same boat as Louisiana Lafayette. They're going to go against Louisiana Monroe in the next week, though. So that should be a little interesting matchup. At number 9, after a while, I finally decided to put Army in. Again, because I was giving them some slack, considering the fact that they've only played 8 games. This week will be 10, and then next week's going to be 11, and then 12. But I just couldn't hold back having them on the list much longer. And at number 10, if I can, Georgia Tech. This was the team I faced in the national championship last year, and they are doing just so terrible, Like 1 year after making the national championship game, and they're in that bad a slump. I mean, the only game they probably have looking forward to them is their rivalry game against Georgia. Georgia has to get through Auburn, which that's going to be a fun task for them, and Georgia Tech has to go through a non-conference opponent in Nebraska, so essentially Georgia Tech's conference play is done with for the year. And now, here we go, my favorite part of the episode, and sometimes the most difficult part when it comes to creating these episodes. The 5 key games for the week. And we will start off with another Big Ten matchup, which this time it's going to be between it's the game of the week as well, between number 3 Penn State and number 23 Michigan. Michigan is just coming off an upset loss to Northwestern, which we've discussed several times already in this episode, which has now knocked them out of the running for the Big Ten Championship. They're looking to do the same this week to Penn State, 8, who have been on a roll, winning their last 6 games behind a defense that's top 5 at least. 3rd total offense, 4th in rushing defense, 5th best in passing defense, and 4th best in forcing turnovers. With a defense like this, I don't think they can be stopped, Michigan's offense this year hasn't been as good as they wanted, and even though they managed 20 points against the Wildcats last week, and they're averaging 25, nearly 26 a game, compared to Penn State's 33 points a game. And it's going to be a different challenge this week to do against the Nittany Lions. I think Penn State will come away with victory in a low-scoring affair. Now we go from me predicting a low-scoring affair to me predicting a high-scoring affair between number 18 Tennessee and number 8 Texas. We have a battle of the orange here with the Volunteers and the Longhorns. Tennessee is boasting an incredible offense that's only been topped twice this year. Here, with Texas having the second best offense in the country, only losing to Colorado. This will be a game of pride, as whoever wins this has a chance to rise higher in the polls, with Texas trying to get back into the top 5 and Tennessee hoping to be in the top 10 by the end of the year. I mean, then again, their next opponent is Vanderbilt, so I don't think that's going to help their cause. But maybe at least top 15. Beating Texas could get them closer to top 10. And we have a team that's got the 13th best offense and the 8th best scoring team in the nation and the 30th best defense against a team that's got the second best offense. The only offense that's topped this team's offense is McNary Central's. And a defense that's top 10 in rushing defense and top 10 passing offense. I think this will be an offensive showcase here with Texas coming out of the slobber knocker with a win. And now we go from a game of pride to another game that's basically pride, Alabama and LSU. This has not been the best year for either team. As you can see, Alabama is 6-4 and LSU is 5-5. Not the records they'd expect to be at this point of the year. Maybe having one loss, maybe possibility of going to the Sugar Bowl, at least the SEC championship, you know. Both were expecting coming to this rivalry game with potential SEC championship implications on the line, but now it's a matter of pride. Excuse me. Both teams have faced off against the best team in the nation in back-to-back weeks, McNary Central, losing by a combined 469 to nothing. Alabama bounced back though with a 35-25 win over Mississippi State. But that's not going to be good enough for them, knowing who they're facing this week. They currently see some crimson in the water from LSU, who lost to McNary Central at home, and LSU is back home against a rival this time. LSU is looking to be fired up for this matchup, though looking to bounce back from that horrific loss, and pound Alabama's behind into submission. I think the victory will go to Alabama because it will expose LSU's weak running defense, just like what McNary Central did last week. And now we go to yet another 3:30 p.m. game. All my games have been at 3:30 p.m. I noticed that. Between number 10 Oregon and number 17 USC. Oregon's been on a warpath against the entire Pac-10 this year, looking to claim the Pac-10 championship. USC has plans of their own, like upsetting Oregon in Los Angeles in front of 100,000 plus. Oregon's been doing great for the roster they have. I mean, their overall is B+, B+, and B, yet third best scoring team in the nation, top 10 offense, top 10 defense, fifth best rushing defense. You know, how do you have the stats that good with a roster that probably, I mean, granted, other conferences they could do as well, but I don't think they would be able to do this good in the Pac-10 that like I thought they would probably be. But USC seems to think they have the better talent. I mean, A+, A-, A, but you look at their stats, they're not the best stats. You know, middle of the road. The Ducks have been looking very strong ever since their season opener loss to Boise State. Meanwhile, USC has lost 3 games, including one to McNary Central and Arizona State. The Trojans, I think, will lose game number 4 this year to Oregon, maybe even fall out the rankings, and to solidify what I said way back earlier in the beginning of the series. Here's when Oregon went up against Arizona State, and I said Oregon would win that game and beat USC to become Pac-10 champions. Because I figured both teams would have to go through USC to be the champion. Yet I think both teams will successfully do that. And my last key game is another 3:30 matchup between Oklahoma and Tampa Bay. Oklahoma is one of the best offenses in the nation. I mean, third best overall, only bested by their rivals Texas and McNary Central. The second best scoring offense, bested by only McNary Central, and the sixth best rushing defense and the second best team in turning the ball over. While Tampa Bay has defense that overall could beat them, but hasn't been performing as well as they wanted to. I mean, they're 27th best, but their passing is middle of the road at best. If Oklahoma wins this, they are for sure going to represent Big 12 South in the Big 12 championship game, because I think Texas's other loss has been against Texas's losses have come from Big 12 teams. Let's see, Texas. Well, Texas beat Tampa Bay. Yeah, Texas beat Oklahoma. So technically speaking, Texas has the edge to possibly make, but you see that's where loss number 1 comes in. And for Texas, and Texas has one more showdown against Texas A&M, and odds are that's probably going to be a key game for next week, considering what all is on the line. Because this is Oklahoma's conference finale as well. I just realized that now, looking at this. But Tampa Bay is looking to play upset. They have other plans, and like upsetting the Sooners at home in Shocker Stadium. Johnny Cage's job could also possibly be on the line here, in which even though he's led this new team to 3 winning seasons, he doesn't have any Big 12 championships to show for it. They made it to the championship game last year and lost to Nebraska, but making it and winning it are 2 totally different things. Being a Big 12 powerhouse would definitely help secure his job a little bit and hopefully bring in some new recruits for the next year, because as you can see, they need some help in the secondary. Maybe a little bit more in the rushing as well. But I think Oklahoma will win this game and be Big 12 representatives sooner rather than later. I always gotta try to come up with some sort of joke. But yeah, that's the key games for this week. And like I said, I don't have a game this week, so I could be working on the next episode a lot sooner than I think I'll be. In the meantime, I will see you guys next time.